Hey, what's up everybody? Mike here, baseball collector, and it's Thursday afternoon, and I've got some slabs in the mail today that I'm going to show off here in a minute, but I got a couple of things that have been on my mind that I wanted to discuss and would love to get feedback from you guys, the YouTube community. The first one is not really soliciting feedback, but just talking about the YouTube community in general. I had a great time last night. I got to talk to Snoop and Ray from Philly. Both of us were all three on the phone together, and we're all three just talking cards and just stories and just having a great time on the phone. I've had some great conversations with Nate, Tops 85 401, John, JMVP, and just Garrett, Card Cutter. So there is so many great guys, so many great collectors out there in this community. It is amazing. And it's amazing how intimate it still feels after over a year that I've been doing this pretty regularly in terms of making videos and posting them. And a lot of us have all been kind of doing it about the same amount of time with a couple of exceptions, but you know, there's just this intimacy that is continuing to grow, and it's pretty neat to see. Again, really looking forward to the National and getting to see everybody up there. But what's fascinating about it is, again, the lack of numbers. It's just shocking to me how few people watch videos on YouTube. I mean, if I see a video with over 1,000 views, it's a lot for a video about sports cards. And to that end, I got an email yesterday, and I don't know if anybody else got it, but if you've monetized your channel, which I did back in early September of last year, whereas previously you had to have 10,000 views on your channel to be considered for monetization, which just means making money off YouTube. And believe me, none of us in the card community are going to be making a whole lot of money on YouTube because we just don't get the views. Things don't go viral with what we do, but it is interesting. At least we were able to monetize it and get something. And now I got an email from YouTube yesterday that said, hey, sorry, your channel is going to be turned off for monetization on February 20th. And the new criteria for being able to monetize your channel is 4,000 hours of view time in the last 12 months, which is a lot. It's 250,000 minutes essentially that people have had to have watched your videos in the last month, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers. Sorry, my phone rang and it connects to my iPad, which is what I'm filming on, cut off the video. So back to my point about YouTube, finishing that up before I show off some slabs. The new criteria for monetization of your channel is 240,000 view minutes in the last 12 months, which is a lot. 250,000 view minutes is a long time. 4,000 hours is what they want. And you have to have 1,000 subscribers. Well, I have 575-ish or so, and I know very few sports card themed YouTube channels that have over 1,000. I can think of a few off the top of my head, but there's not a whole lot of them out there. And so, again, not that we're doing it for money. I'll keep doing videos. It's not that big a deal. Maybe someday I'll get to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe not. But I really enjoy the community, and that's what I'm doing it for. It was just nice to think, man, I'm going to get a little bit of money from YouTube potentially, because what you had to do was build it up to $100. Then Google would send you a check. Well, I'm at 90-something dollars, like just over $90. And I have about a month to earn 10 more dollars on my ads to at least get one check before they shut me off of monetization. So we'll see if that happens. If it does, I'll use that money to give back into the community and do something. Yes, my phone rang again. So we're going to talk about what I got in the mail today now, my slabs. It's all for one set. And when I have a project that I'm working on, guys, man, I dive right in and I go for as many as I can and just start having fun with it and finding good deals and trying to find the best deal. And this last card of the Hall of Famers PSA set registry has proved incredibly challenging. And I'll talk about that a little bit, because pretty much if you have a Hall of Famer that retired from 1981 to now, essentially, you're going to have multiple options as to what their last card is. In the 80s, it might have been Topps, Fleer, Donruss. In the 90s and 2000s, you start having all types of Topps has multiple issues. You've got Upper Deck and Ultra and all these things to choose from for what could potentially be the Hall of Famer's last card. And I don't think there's really a right or wrong to it. I don't know that it necessarily has to be their Topps card as their last card, their last Topps card. I think I'm going to do it where I'm trying to find a card issued in their last playing year or the year immediately following that shows their entire stats on the back. Because to me, that's kind of the last card. From a just historical standpoint, that seems reasonable to me. But I can see how this can go a lot of different directions for different collectors that just want to do it and be unique. Again, I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong way. We're talking about 105 or so players, not including who's going to get inducted in a week, which, oh, by the way, a week from now will be the Hall of Fame induction announcement, which I'll do a video about who I think is going to get in early next week about that. I'm sorry, it's a week from last night, actually. So less than a week away from that announcement. But you've got these 105 or so players that most of them don't have one true last card. There are multiple choices available. And through this process, I'm discovering that I kind of was early trigger finger on some of these, and I pulled the trigger and bought cards for players that actually had cards issued later during their playing days. And so here's the 10 that I won. I'll go over them real quick, and you guys can leave comments and tell me what you think. The first one is for Mr. Ken Griffey Jr. and his last card, at least this isn't true. The card that I'm using as his last card is his 2010 Topps, and I got this in a Gem Mint 10. I got this off 4 Sharp Corners. I got a bunch of them off that I'm going to show today off 4 Sharp Corners. So there's a Gem Mint 10, and again on the back, it's pretty awesome. It shows him as a designated hitter, which is interesting, and he's got all of his stats on the back, which is pretty awesome and what I really like. The next newest that I got, again, I'm going from chronological order from newest to oldest, is the last card for Jim Rice, which is 1990 Topps, and this is a Gem Mint 10 also. Again, I'm going to try to do collector grade if I can, which is, again, you know, whatever decade it is, that numerical corresponding grade on a card. Here's one where I kind of screwed up. So here's Mike Schmidt, 1989 Topps. And this is Mike Schmidt's last Topps card. But Mike Schmidt had a 1990 Donruss card, and the more I look at it, the more I really think that the 90 Donruss is really his last card, because Topps, Fleer, and Donruss were very normal, and in 1990, Upper Deck were all stuff that everybody could get. And to me, that mainstream card, so this is his last Topps card, the 89. It's in a Gem Mint 10, but now I'm going to go get the 1990 Donruss. Thanks, Ray from Philly, for pointing that out to me. This card here presents another conundrum that I'll go over and see what you guys think. So here's Reggie Jackson's last Topps card, which is 87 Topps. And this is showing him on the Angels. This is a Gem Mint 10, which is great. But Reggie Jackson also has a 1987 Topps traded card where he plays on the A's. He's on pictured on the A's, which would really, since it was issued after the regular 1987 Topps, would be his last issued card. And so I don't know if I'm cheating by using the 87 Topps, or if I really should use the 87 Topps traded, or if you're going to watch this and go, Mike, it doesn't matter, do whatever you want. Which is what I'm really telling all of you guys. If you're going to follow along, there's a lot of guys that saying they're going to do this set too. I would say just kind of do what you like from 81 on. Prior to that, there's not a whole lot of negotiation, just because Topps was the only one around for the most part, and that's what you got to do. So here's another screw up, and I'm showing you guys the good and the bad. It's a great card, actually. It's a Joe Morgan 1984 Topps traded Gem Mint 10, which in and of itself isn't bad, except that Joe Morgan had a 1985 Topps card, a 1985 Fleer card, and so this isn't his last card. I thought it was. He stopped playing in 1984 or 1985. So again, I'm not perfect, and I'm amending my sheet, my Google sheet that I've put a link to on a previous video. As I go along and find my mistakes, I kind of go in and amend it. Now this one is Johnny Bench, 1983 Topps, and a Gem Mint 10, which is a great classic card. So there you go. Now we're starting to get into where there's no debate. These are some no debaters because there's only Topps. And the first one is a 1972 Topps Hoyt Wilhelm. And I got this in a near mint to mint 8, which I think is a fantastic grade for 1972 Topps. 9s and 10s are really, really expensive, so unless I just literally steal one, I am not going to be going after that because this is for me. Love this next card. Sorry about that. Also, Hoyt Wilhelm's shown with the Dodgers there. You get to see these Hall of Fame players in these weird teams. Here's 68 Topps Eddie Matthews on the Tigers, which he played for the Tigers a couple of years in 67 and 68. Went to the World Series with them in 68, where they lost to the Cardinals. But that's a near mint 7, which is a nice grade for a 68. This is a card I actually have raw, but I wanted to find, obviously, Slabs. And this is a 1962 Topps Early Win, shown here with the White Sox, although he pitched for several teams during his career, but there's Early Win. Hall of Fame pitcher, 1962 Topps, in at 6. And then my last card for my last card Hall of Fame set that I'm going to show off today is this Bob Lemon from 1958 Topps, and this is a 6, which is fine. This card definitely has some surface issues. The corners are nice, a little off center for sure too, but there you go. It's in a near mint, excellent to mint 6. So that's it. That's the 10 I got today. I got a whole bunch more on the way. It should be here over the next few days to a week or so. And really appreciate you guys watching. Love to hear feedback. Like me if you can. Subscribe if you can so I can get to my 1,000 subscribers and keep monetizing my channel. And I hope everybody has a great night and a good weekend coming up. We'll talk to you soon. Keep collecting.